People populate, I suppose. Live. It's been a while, man. I just didn't know when to start doing this again. I haven't really been compelled to do it, even though I do enjoy doing live streams. I just haven't had the time. Oh my god. Oh, this looks so bad. This looks so bad. Oh, this makes me want to go to the Ultra. It's crazy how bad. Like Apple does all this just grand marketing about how good their cameras are, right? And when they sit here and cream over how how good the cameras are on the iPad Pro, why does this look so bad? This looks bad. Like, ooh. And people say, "Oh, LG cameras are so, their selfie cameras are so bad." This looks, and I know I'm not looking at the camera. I just know, I don't know. It's always been weird to me to do that, but yeah. So I guess I'll just get into this here. iPhone 13 Pro, iPad Pro. What else? Sony Xperia 1 Mark III, things of that nature. So I guess I'll get the easier one out the way first. I will be getting the 1 Mark III very soon. I have the money for it. It's just due to the bank that I'm with, I can't just deposit it into my bank account. So what I have to do is I have to just it's very drug lord like. I have to just get Amazon gift cards and just get them that way, which isn't hard. It's not difficult to do that, but it's very interesting to say the least. But yeah, I'm getting the 512 gig black version with 12 gigs of RAM. I'm so excited. I am so excited for that. Been a long time coming, man. I've been talking about the 1 Mark III for a long time, and of course, my Air kicks in. Hopefully, the iPad Pro's mics are good, so we'll see about that. But to where that they can actually drown that out a little bit. But yeah, I can't wait. I really can't wait. That that phone's been on my mind for a long time, and you guys know that it's basically been on my mind since the beginning of the year. So yeah, 1 Mark III coming very soon. Let's talk this here. The iPhone 13 Pro. Overall, so far, now I haven't customized it quite yet to my liking. It still has stock wallpapers and stuff like that. 256 gig version. There's this thing where if you have the 128 gig version, you can't use the cinematic mode to its full potential or whatever. I think that's what it is. But even then, on here, let me get some more light. That'll help. But even then, on here, right now, It's not, because if I remember correctly, Apple did say, "Oh, 4K 30 cinematic mode." iPhone 13 Pro 4K cinematic mode. Because I swear to God, they talked about that. I don't swear to God, but you know what I mean. I swear they talked about that. But oh no, it's just in 1080p 30. Okay, that's fine. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal if it doesn't have it, but it would have been nice to have 4K 30 because basically what this does with the cinematic mode with 1080p 30 is that it's not really that much better than say an LG G8 in log mode, which what cinematic mode will allow you to do on here is be able to grade the footage. I, I'm from the 90s, damn it. I keep saying footage, but you know what I mean. The video and give it a different color look and all that stuff. So that's very nice. It's basically they call it I, I, Apple doesn't call it log. I don't think the 13 has a better display. The only thing that I would say is better if you really care about it is 120 hertz, but honestly, I don't necessarily think one display is far superior over the other. Like, this is still on the regular 13, it's still slightly above 1080p, I think. So it's not like you're going to be getting that much more resolution out of it. And the V60 still has a quality display. So unless you have burn-in or anything else that would be destroying the V60's, that would be bad for the V60's display. Obviously, it's an OLED, so burn-in and all that stuff is going to happen eventually. And even on here, that's going to happen. I don't necessarily think this display is like leaps and bounds better than the V60 at all. Maybe if you go to the 13 Pro Max where it's actually Quad HD, but here's the problem with that too. I have the S21 Ultra, and I've been side by siding that with the V60 ever since I had the S21 Ultra, and I don't care. Like, the resolution isn't the thing that makes me like. Obviously, I can see it. I don't have any problem with that, but it's the resolution is not what is the main draw. It was mainly the 120 hertz, and the 120 hertz is not really something that I feel is that big of a deal breaker for me. And I'll say this: when I first got this, and I was rolling around in the menus and all that stuff, it didn't feel like it didn't feel like a pro motion display, as Apple tries to call it. I'm using the iPad Pro right now. You can feel that 120 hertz. It feels very nice. And on here, it initially just didn't feel that way. But now that I've gotten a little bit more used to it, it feels very nice. But yeah, cinematic mode, very nice. 1080p 30 is cool. Being able to do pick your focus point, and then it'll blur out the background from f 2.0 to f all the way up to f16 aperture is very nice. I'm probably going to keep it on f2 just to keep that background blur very nice and blurry. But yeah, very nice on that. I wish it had 4K 30 support at least. 4K 60, I would understand why you don't have that if you're calling it a cinematic mode, but 4K 30 would have been nice. That's all I'm saying. The overall cameras in terms of, say, photo quality, wide angle's good. I don't use it as much as I used to, say, back in the V20 days. So it's just not something that I feel is a big sticking point for me personally. If it's good enough in daylight and nighttime, I just personally don't care. It doesn't need to be this like super high quality look. It doesn't have to have this super high quality look to it for me personally because I hardly use it. But yeah, telephoto is telephoto. Like, I don't use the telephoto lens. Probably, I use that probably even less than I use the wide angle, and it's cool. Like, it's no S21 Ultra, but it's cool. And the 3x zoom on here, I would say, it has a 3x optical zoom, which is it just can't. It's an optical zoom from the main sensor, and still, Apple sharpens the photo, and you can see it. You can definitely see it. It's kind of it's bad to say the least. I will obviously do a picture comparison between the S21 Ultra and this in terms of zooming, but it's just crazy, man. I don't understand why Apple does that. They don't really need to, but they feel like they have to. They feel like they have to over sharpen photos. I don't understand it, but it's whatever. Selfie camera, I don't take selfies, so I don't talk about it. Face unlock, Face ID, as fast as ever, easy to use as ever. Really no issues with that. Obviously, in this world where you're either highly recommended to wear a mask or you're told that you have to, it's kind of hard to use face unlock on this because then you got to pull the mask down and all this stuff. And that's the main reason why I wish Apple would do what they did on the iPad Air and put a goddamn Touch ID sensor in the power button. Like, come on. You're calling something a Pro, but you're not bringing all of those features to the Pro model. They're being very stagnant with how they give certain devices certain features, and I don't understand that. Touch ID on an iPhone would be nice alongside Face Unlock. It would just be nice. That way you have two different options. Display is nice. Like I said, 120 hertz is really nice to have on here. At first, I didn't notice it, but after a while, it did. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's right there. Ooh. Ooh. Probably because I'm used to it now. That's probably why. But overall, I do feel like this is nice, and it's about damn time Apple did it because they kind of needed it. They kind of needed something to spice up the iPhone a little bit more, and I feel like they did that quite well here. What else? The phone still feels very substantial. It feels good in the hand, all that stuff. It feels good. Basically every phone feels good. Obviously, it would feel better for me if it were the Pro Max, but I really didn't see a benefit into getting the Pro Max because aside from battery life, you get the same sensors. You get the same main sensor across all four iPhones. You get ProMotion on both this and the Pro Max. So, to to me, it just doesn't really make any sense to go up to a Pro Max if there's very little benefit to do it other than size, which, like I said, I would have preferred the bigger. I would prefer a Pro Max for the size and battery. And honestly, the battery on this hasn't been failing me quite yet. I'm gonna have to do more testing on that and see if it outclasses LG V60, but we'll see about that. Definitely. What else? That's pretty much it so far on the iPhone. I feel the iPhone. Oh no, actually no. So I did a preliminary video render test because I wanted to see how it would fare, right? And no. Ah shit. Um Hold on a second. Uh oh god, I hate Apple's keyboards so much. Um Video render test. So I got the iPad Pro because M1, right? And when I first got it, nothing was optimized, nothing for it pretty much. There were games that were like, oh, 120 hertz, and say I think it was League of Legends Wild Rift that was just at 90. So I waited on that. More games definitely support 120 hertz now, which is very nice, especially now that Apple put it on the fucking iPhone. And yeah, it's quite nice to the point where, say, Marvel Future Revolution, a new game, doesn't have 120 hertz on Android. It doesn't have 120 hertz on here either, but it has it on the iPad Pro. And I don't understand that. I really don't understand that at all. But, optimization takes time. So far, right now, when it comes to the iPad Pro, I like it a lot. I'm not going to sit here and lie about that. I like the iPad Pro quite a bit. I've always stated that I liked the iPad over the iPhone a little bit more over time. I don't think this is gonna work. Oh, there it goes. Oh, yeah, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna need my let's do this. Got the Magic Mouse here, Magic Mouse 2. So there we go. And that still pretty much holds true. But so far, after all the updates that have come out, iOS or iPad OS 15 and iPad OS 15.0.1, LumaFusion has been far better optimized for iPad Pro M1, and it doesn't beat the S21 Ultra. It doesn't. The S21 Ultra still does better with video rendering. It's a beast. But with the first video I did, which was a 7-minute clip, it was like like a 10-second difference, I think. And that's kind of margin of error. But the second video I did, which was today, the S21 Ultra smoked it by a minute. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And it was the cinematic video test that I did with this, right? And the S21 Ultra just blazed through it fast. So obviously the specific app will be, certain apps work better with certain phones. Like Power Director works better with LG phones. KineMaster tends to work better with the Samsung phones. LumaFusion works better with obviously iPad because it's only on iOS and iPad OS. So there's really nothing I can do about that. So that's nice. When it came to this, though, when it came to this for video rendering, it was terrible, to say the least. A what was it? A 7-minute clip took 9 minutes to render out. It's weird, man. Like I don't understand that at all. I really don't get that. Obviously, it's going to take a bit of time to optimize the phone and all that stuff, right? Optimize these apps for the A15 Bionic. But yeah, the phone itself is still very nice. I really do like it a lot. I do like the flat edges. I know a lot of people don't like the flat edges on these phones, but I personally think that it's nice. It feels good. I'm not going to sit here and say it's my favorite feeling phone of all time, but the phone does feel substantial. It does have quite a weight to it. Not as much as the S21 Ultra or even the V60, but it's substantial feeling nonetheless. And I know a lot of people don't seem to like that for whatever reason. That's fine. It's up to you. A lot of people like the lightweightedness of, say, the LG V30. Some people didn't. Some people like the heft of the 13 Pro. Some don't. And it just comes to trade-offs and benefits and trade-offs, right? Depending on what you want. The V60 is a hefty boy because of that big battery, right? So would you rather take that heft and get that big old battery? Or would you take a smaller phone that's lighter and has a smaller battery? And to me, that's just something that is going to be an interesting thing to bring up when it comes to testing all of these phones out. This is going to be stacked. This is going to be stacked. Oh, I can't wait to get the One Mark III. I really can't. And I'm obviously still going to work on getting the ROG Phone 5. I do want to get the original ROG Phone 5 and not the upgraded model, mainly because I just don't feel like them bumping the price up is worth it for an 888 plus. I really don't. And honestly, I just like how I don't know. I really don't feel compelled for the plus or maybe the Pro, maybe the ROG Phone 5 Pro, maybe, but that's because it has that LED shit on the back. So that's the only reason why I would mess with that, because that's cool. Ooh, flashy lights. And it looks all futuristic and all that crap. But overall, if I can get it before they run out of stock, I'll get the ROG Phone 5. If not, I'll just either get the Pro or the regular 5S. So, because the moment they run out of the regular 5s, they're just going to replace it with the 5S. That's what they said they were going to do. Of course, my air comes back on. It's weird because it's been like 60-something, 70 degrees, but it's still weirdly humid. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Let's talk true wireless here. And able to do that, let me grab a few. I literally brought all of my headphones with me. So, well, not all. I think I left the Beats Studio Buds and the FN7s, but I can talk about those without having to get them. So Galaxy Buds 2, AirPods Pro, the XM4, and the LG Tone FP8. They don't call them the Tone Free FP8. The Tone Free FP8 is just Tone FP8, which is fine. But yeah, this is very interesting because I didn't really expect, while I'm moving them and shifting them around, I didn't really expect to actually get. I didn't really expect to feel the way I do about these four headphones here. The In terms of my ranking, and this is going to be very difficult. I feel these are pretty much tied. I feel the Galaxy Buds and the AirPods Pro are pretty much tied. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I like how certain things with sound work better on the Galaxy Buds. And I don't mind the neutral sound on the AirPods Pro. But they pretty much are matched with ANC. The ambient mode obviously is better on here. The mics are pretty much a wash. Everything is pretty much a tie here. So both of these are tied for third place. I don't really think there's a fourth and third place. After these would probably go the Beat Studio, but I don't know yet. Would probably go the Beat Studio Buds. Not because they're terrible or anything like that. I don't personally think that. I've constantly talked about how much I like the Beat Studio Buds. But in terms of, say, overall package and cohesiveness with ecosystems and stuff like that, I feel like both Samsung and Apple do a good job at making sure you get your AirPods, you get your Galaxy Buds, you pair them with the Galaxy Watch, whatever, you pair them with your S21 Ultra, you're set. You pair them with an Apple Watch, an iPhone, even an iPad, you're set. So that's what's really nice about these. What's nice about these two, though, and why I like these two better than these two, it doesn't matter what phone you use them with. They don't lock codecs behind phones, save for the fact that only LDAC works on Android and it's not on iOS. They don't lock certain features behind anything. It's just in their apps. And to me, that just makes more sense than be like, oh, you need the iPhone. You need the iPhone if you want all the features, or you want them all to work without you having to download a third-party app to basically get all those features back. Assistant trigger, cough, cough. Or, oh, you need the S21 Ultra if you want our higher quality codec. And if you want all those other features, like all those cute little features, like, I don't know what they call it. It's basically the moment you pair it to a Samsung account, it can switch between any device, Samsung device that's tied to that account. So say you have your Galaxy tab and you have your phone, S21 Ultra in my case, it'll switch between the two, depending on which one's closer to you, I guess, or which one is active. So it's very much what the AirPods do, right? Which makes sense. Holy hell. Sorry. It's just giving me notifications I've already seen. So, whatever. Yeah. But which of these two do I like better? I still want to save that for a full review, but I'll say sound is going to go to these. Like, sound overall is going to go to these. ANC ever so slightly the Sony. The Sony cancels out just enough more noise, like say a low rumble of like a bus or a big old truck, that I would definitely put these over these. But when I'm doing regular stuff, like say just have them in my ear and I don't have any music on and I'm just sitting at a bus station or whatever, or I'm just outside walking, both of these just do as good as one another. I don't necessarily feel there's a definitive winner in terms of that at all. I feel like both of these are just very good with that, and that's what's really nice. Obviously, which one is more comfortable for you is gonna depend on your ear, but I'll take them both out. So stem style on the FP8 here, more IEM style on the XM4. Both of these stay in my ear quite well. These are more akin to the AirPods Pro, obviously, so they kind of just drop into your ear. So, but the moment they do that, they don't go anywhere. So that's very nice. Both isolate very well. The magnets in the case on the XM4 are definitely stronger. Sony did a very good job with the magnets on here, but the magnets on here aren't necessarily like hard. They don't make it hard to get the headphones out of the case at all. But I feel sometimes the XM4 can be a little too much. But safety of the earbuds do matter, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. In terms of case quality, as you guys can probably hear, the Sony is a little bit creaky, whereas the FP8, no, not at all. These creak a little bit, but the moment you get them in your hand and you like say try to make them creak yourself, it's just not gonna happen. These don't creak at all. The case on this doesn't creak at all. AirPods do it a little bit. It's like a more front to back type thing, and I opened it. I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to make sure I don't do that, but yeah, it's whatever. But in terms of which case I like the best, honestly, I like both of these very much. I really like the rigidity of the Galaxy Buds 2 case, but the problem with both of these is that they have a glossy finish. And it's been very well documented when it comes to AirPods Pro for me. I don't like how easily this case scratches. When it comes to the Galaxy Buds, though, no, there's really no scratches at all. Whereas on here, a little bit already, micro scratches. But nonetheless, if you don't care about that, you can slap a case on either of these. All of these have cases that you can get, like silicone cases and all that, hard cases. So that's very nice. Let's talk about water protection. So water sweat protection, to me that is important because I sweat a lot, for one, and two, I do think it's important. This is where the Galaxy Buds take the backest of back seats. I literally just put them on top of my PS4 Pro. And all of these are pretty much, all of these have IPX4, but what I'll give the tone-free FP8 here, aside from the LED glow right there, is that the UV Nano. So I don't know if this camera is going to be good enough to be able to get it, but it's fine. You guys can see the UV lamp right there. You either plug this in or you put it on a wireless charger. What I tend to do, I turn on wireless power share on my S21 Ultra, plop it on top. I guess I could give you guys a little bit of a demo here, right? So turn on wireless power share. And as you guys can see, the blue and the blue light is to indicate that it's cleaning the earbuds. It cleans 99.9% of bacteria off the speaker mesh. So that's very nice. Hey man, what's good? I'm just going through these earbuds right now. But yeah, I'm getting the One Mark III very soon. I said in the beginning before you got here that I literally have the money. It's just getting getting Amazon gift cards right now because I can't put it on my bank account without having a homie put it on his bank account to send it to me and yada yada yada. I'm not doing all that. So I do want the Pixel 6 Pro as well, but the phone that I really do want to mess with before I continue this is the Vivo X Pro Plus. Juan Bagnell did a video on that. That phone was calling to me. And then I checked the price on it. $800. And I was like, really, man? Just 800? Just $800 for that? and and it has a leather back, so I don't have to worry about dropping it, and then it cracks and all that shit, right? So I don't necessarily need a case. So I still would probably get a case because of the camera bulge, you know. But yeah, I do really want that. I really do. But in terms of, we'll get back to phones in a minute. In terms of what I was just talking about when it comes to ingress protection and all that stuff, all three of these have IPX4. What the Buds 2 have is just IP2, so just splash resistance basically, right? And to me that kind of sucks because, and I've kind of heard it because my ears do get moist. I'm probably gonna have to go to a doctor and see if they can remove some earwax because I know there's some earwax deep in there. I can feel it. I mean, I can't feel it, but I kind of have a feeling that that's the case. Where when I put it in my ear, right? And I will say these are comfortable too. These definitely are comfortable. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you can hear it affect the audio, and I don't like that. Samsung still has like the weakest magnets in the game, like two magnets. But I've seen plenty of earbuds with two magnets be very strong magnets. Like for example, the Beats Studio Buds have very strong magnets, and those are just two magnets. These are just very piss poor magnets. Like Samsung, what Rosie? Samsung, you need to work on that. You need to work on that. Don't they need to work on that? Well, you got something in your eye. Don't they need to work on that? Oh, you want to come in too? Good girl. Good girl. Lay down. Down. But yeah. In terms of that, I'll definitely give the win in terms of protection to the FP8 because I literally took these out of my ear one time, right? And the speaker mesh was definitely wet. I put it in here, put it on top of my S21 Ultra, let it wireless charge. That stuff was gone. It was evaporated, and that was very nice. It's not a gimmick. Typically, you see that kind of thing, those kind of things as gimmicks, but that's just not it's not a gimmick. It actually works, and to me, that's to me that's nice. Uh, I'm not gonna go deeper into sound quality between the two because, like I said, I want to do that for a separate video. Yeah, they're very nice. And the FP9 I checked on the LG site are just $200, and they're gonna have that plug-in wireless thing that those $400 Bowers and Wilkins have. But the problem is they don't have wireless charging. So if you care about that, then I'd say go with the FP8. The thing is, also, there is some feedback with the ANC initially, but you let it sit in your ear for a little bit and it goes away, and just move it around a little bit. They don't have they don't have the same kind of fit that the AirPods Pro do. The AirPods Pro kind of sit on top of your, like, right here, right? Whereas the FP8 kind of sit deeper into here. And the bass on these, man, like when they say flex action bass, they mean it. They really mean it. And it's crazy, man. It's really crazy. Like, I had to make sure multiple times that I wasn't being bamboozled, right? And this isn't trying to say that the XM4s are terrible with audio. I love these. I really do. But I feel like they work far better with just sub bass at times. And I listen to a lot of rap hip hop. And I feel like these are definitely good for instrumentals, like, say, the Doom Eternal or Doom 2016 soundtrack. I feel like they'll do good with that. These also do good with those. It's not like the old, like the Skull Candy kind of bass where they just put bass everywhere. Bass is only added when it's needed. And it's not like overpowering bass all the time. So it's very nice. Yeah. This isn't going to make me give up the XM4, though. There's just a lot I love about this earbud that makes me want to hold on to it, you know. But for the price, like, basically, what would that be? Like $120 less. You get pretty comparable ANC, depending on what type of music you listen to. Probably better sound, and the clarity of the vocals on here definitely beat out these. I said in a community post that the clarity on the vocals in terms of these kind of remind me of my short tape, and I love the short tape. So that's very nice. In terms of battery life, though, these are king. These are definitely king. These get close. These get 10 hours of continuous usage. These, though, when I tested them, 15 hours. And to me, that's crazy, man. To me, that's very crazy. And it's just insane to me that you can get that much battery life out of, like, this compact earbud. And you put it back in the case for like half hour, you get 5 extra hours of battery life right there. Like, that's crazy to me. Yeah. So let's get back into phones here, because this is what's really interesting. So this phone has the same, 12 megapixel sensor that's on the, well, not the same. I think it's ever so slightly larger than the One Mark III's 12 megapixel main camera sensor, right? They bolster this low light stuff. They bolster it. Low light. like it, like the phone takes in all the light that it can possibly get and make it look as if a dark scene is not dark. And the problem that I have with Apple's algorithms, their computational photography, and why I don't like that more manufacturers are leaning towards there are a lot of manufacturers that are leaning more towards that way, is that it doesn't always know what's best. It some There's a lot of the times she wants up again. There are a lot of times where it'll decide, oh, I'm just going to sharpen the photo, and it looks terrible. Hey, I'd say get it before, I'd say get it before more and more people um, buy it up, and there's very few to find. I'm gonna get one for my dad because he's on my old V40 right now that I gave him after I got the no after I got the V60. So yeah, you're gonna yawn in my face. You're gonna yawn in my face. But yeah, the V60 is still, you get better HDR output out of the V60. You can see that in that the photo comparison I posted. The iPhone just it looks like a phone from like 4 or 5 years ago. You want down? There you go. If you try to come up one more time though, I don't know if I'm gonna let you up here. But yeah. Yeah, man, it's like that's why when I record videos, I record in manual mode. Like that's why I do it, because it gives me full control of what I want. And hey, the 12 Pro Max is still really good. And you're not going to be getting that much unless you really want the cinematic mode, which personally, so far, I don't really see that big of a benefit of it. Mainly because you can't record in higher resolution or higher frame rates. That's pretty much it. But honestly, I do feel that just gonna have to put this to the test even more. And when the One Mark III comes, that's going to be really interesting to see how many people say, "Oh, it's just not as good," but they're not saying how it isn't as good. And I'm pretty sure the moment that I test it and actually see what Sony is doing, I'll get different results. Because there have been people that have compared, say, S21 Ultra to obviously the iPhone, typically the Pro Max, but you're not getting anything different. The 13 Pro Max, you're not getting anything different camera wise out of this. And some people have been getting varying results. There have been people that said, oh, the S21 Ultra is just flat, but it gives you more detail. Whereas this has more colors. Did it just center stage me? Has more colors. Oh, unless it's, hold on. No, I think it's slowly slipping. Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing. Shit. Here's what I'll do. I'm shocked you actually can't see that in the photo, in the frame. But yeah, let's do that. So I can at least still see the chat. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, there have been people that have been comparing this to S21 Ultra, right? As you do. And they've been saying that the iPhone tends to have more punched up colors, but lacks detail, which is very interesting, right? And will at times have pointed out things like I've been saying, like over sharpening the photo. They've pointed out things like what I've also shown when it comes to dynamic range, where it'll tend to just stray to one color and not show you any sort of different color variations within, say, clouds or anything like that, or skies. And it's very interesting to see more people being critical of Apple now, even though they've been sitting here saying that, oh, LG is bad, Sony is bad, now OnePlus is bad, and Samsung and Apple can do no wrong. It's been really interesting to see how people go with that. But yeah, man, it's just it's just funny to see that, because you just don't expect it. You never expect that to happen, for people to actually talk about issues with an Apple product. Yeah, man, I hate to use the forsaken C word, but they're a cult at times. Like, they kind of act like cult. They have this cultish mentality where you don't do something the same way that the big boys do it, then you're doing something wrong. And to me, or not, you're doing something wrong, you're not worth it. And to me, that just doesn't make sense. Because back when LG used to sharpen the hell out of their photos, they criticized them up and down, right? But Apple is doing it, they're not saying a thing, except for a very select few people. And it tends to be the people that used to be Apple fans too. That's what's crazy. They used to be diehard Apple people. And that's just crazy to me, dude. I'd say watch Chris Perillo's breakdown between the S21 Ultra and 13 Pro Max camera. And it'll show you that one is not necessarily better than the other. I don't think there's one camera to rule them all, really. I think it's what compromises are you willing to deal with? What flaws are you willing to deal with? And to me, that matters. For example, I'm willing to live with the fact that Sony doesn't want to put a night mode on their phone, because I personally don't use it. I really don't. I personally don't mind that they put a trash selfie or what they call trash selfie camera on the front of their phones, because I literally don't use a selfie camera unless it's for this. And so long as it looks presentable, I really don't care. I don't mind things like LG software not necessarily being 100% all the time, because for the most part, it gives me what I want 98% of the time, with a few grievances here and there. I'm not going to sit here and act as if I don't have grievances with LG. Well, not grievances, gripes with LG sometimes, but it's very minimal. And that's why they kept me from the G2 till now, and from the V10 till now, right? It just felt like the right one. And now they're not here, so now I gotta soul search. And that sucks, but whatever. I ain't gonna cry about it. First off, show me the phone. Are you really not gonna show me what is the point of the mouse if it ain't gonna do that? If it's not gonna do what I want it to do. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. I'll post in my community tab. I'll make a community post when I finally do. Yeah, the Mate 40 Pro. Like, it's always like when something is so when something you find is so good, right? When something you buy is so good, despite the fact that LG took away things like Quad HD, the fact that they didn't put at least a 90 hertz panel on the V60, the fact that they didn't do those things, and it was like, oh, that's kind of sucks, but whatever. But the V60 was still so good. Like, it was still so good. And they gave you things like dual screen, very good battery life, quad DAC, very good stereo speakers, a 3D surround mode that actually worked pretty damn well with the speakers. Things like that. It's a built-in equalizer that you can use for any headphone, so you don't have to download an app like Wavelet or something, and that you can. And if you have headphones that true wireless earbuds that don't have EQ options, cough cough, Galaxy Buds 2 or Galaxy Buds Pro, custom EQ options, you can just do that with the phone, because you don't have that on here. I don't think. Like, let me see real quick. The most you have. Oh, you do. Okay, I found it. You do have it. It's very convoluted to find stuff with Samsung phones, but apparently they have the top software in Android. Yeah, that thing. Yeah, that Pixel 5a. I understand people's gripes with it, right? But to get that kind of camera for like $500, basically, without having to go to like a Pixel 4 XL or Pixel 4, it's crazy to me. And the fact that people try to write off something like the regular Pixel 5 because, oh, it's Snapdragon 765 and it doesn't have a 108 megapixel camera and crap like that, it just shows me that people don't actually pay attention to what Google did to the smartphone camera industry. Like, they don't seem to remember what they did. They're the ones that push computational photography forward, even more than Apple. Like, for like ever since the Pixel, no, ever since like the Nexus 6P, ever since like the Nexus 6P, right? They've been doing very good. They pretty much brought their A game, and they pushed computational photography forward. They pushed a lot of the algorithmic type of things forward, and more manufacturers followed that route. And you can love it or hate it. I personally think it's I personally think it's fine. Um, I think certain manufacturers do better than others, but yeah, that's good, man. You know, a lot of people complained about the 4K 60 overheating thing. And it's like, yeah, but $1,400 phone can't even do 8 minutes of video recording in a pretty well cooled place. I tend to do it here, right? With the air on and even like a fan, even on like one, right? Like the fan that's right on the side of me right here. Yeah, I hope so, man. Because even though I haven't, even though I haven't rocked a Google phone since the Nexus 4, right? But it's not because, oh, I hate Google phones. No, it's not the case. I just found more use in, obviously what LG did with their software more. And I was willing to live with not getting every single update on time, or a lot of the times every single update. And I was fine with that. And I'll say the V60 now, it's on the September security patch. Like, it literally got it a few days ago. And I know this, oh, it's bad, but no, it's actually pretty well up to date. And LG's been doing a pretty good job, despite the fact of them being out of the market, at keeping the phone relatively up to date. But the Pixel 6 Pro, I can't wait to see what they do with that, man. And the Pixel 6. I can't wait to see what they do with those phones, because I'm not gonna lie, ever since like the Pixel 4, I've wanted to mess with a Pixel. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act as if, oh, the Pixel is so bland. I don't think that. I personally don't think that way. But it's not. It's just nice to see that Google didn't give up. I mean, they pretty much. Why would they give up? like it. Like, the Pixel does pretty much represent what is to come in Android a lot of the time. So, why would they give up on that? They have their niche fan base. The Pixel is quite popular with the people that love the Pixel, right? It is literally, it is Google, it is Android's iPhone. I know people are like, oh, but it doesn't sell as well as a Galaxy. Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is what the Pixel represents. It's not what sells the best, It. Yes, that's a factor of an iPhone. Yes, that's a factor of an iPad. Yes, that's a factor of pretty much everything. Like, back in the day when people used to make bootleg iPods, make them look exactly like iPods, but have shit software on them. They did that because they knew it would sell. So, sorry, I got to check something real quick. Oh, that's still up. No, it's very funny. So my girlfriend's leaving her mom's right now, right? Going to Speedway, but before it was a Speedway, it was a Super America. All the Super Americas got bought out by Speedway and got turned into Speedways, right? Which, if you don't know what those are gas stations. And on Uber, it still says Super America. I don't know why it does that. It's kind of weird to me, but it's whatever. I'm just I just want to make sure I know where she at, not messing around on me. No, I'm just kidding. I know she ain't doing that. But, yeah, in terms of all that stuff, it's very crazy because, a lot more people see the iPhone as, yeah, it's just gonna be there, and that's how I see the Pixel. Is like, it's just gonna be there. Like, there's gonna be a Pixel every year, and they're gonna keep chipping at it unless they just find a disinterest in Android, which is possible. Anything is possible, but for the foreseeable future, I don't see them be like, oh, we're not selling as well, so. For a company like LG, where the mobile division is reliant on that, I can understand that. Let me check the battery on this real quick. 57%. Okay. I was just making sure this battery's still good. I still wish Google would just give a micro SD card slot. Like, come on, bro. Like, just give that. Like, I understand that everyone doesn't like it, but everyone doesn't care for it, rather. But just give it Like, come on. It would be very nice to have that feature, especially since you're not giving out free storage anymore. But yeah, that's all I really got to talk about, though. It's been an hour. It's been nice. I'm gonna do this more, definitely. I've been meaning to do it. I just lacked the motivation to do it, pretty much, and just really didn't have much to talk about. And now that I have quite a bit to talk about, I'm doing it again. So yeah, thanks for stopping by, the people that stopped by. I really do appreciate it. Want to do this more often so that it grows, obviously. So, yeah, this is Sparta. Thank you guys for watching. As always, thanks for the support. Thanks for almost 1,100 subscribers as well. Um, Man, that's crazy. Thanks for that. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday night or whatever time of day it is in your area. Have a good one. No, don't fall. Oh, really?